Welcome back, guys and gals. Greg Silverman here, your Alt Invest CIO, coming from a volcano in Chile, and I'm not sure what it's called, so I apologize for that. Another article in the Come Learn With Me series. It's a little bit dated, so apologies for that. But it's why solar energy stocks are dropping right now. Remember, we rate and observe the articles that everyone likes and shares. We read through them in a part of our Come Learn With Me series. We'll highlight some bullet points so you don't have to read the article. Well, let's do it. Why solar energy stocks are dropping right now. There's always good information to pick up. Fear of rising interest rates could hurt solar development. Okay, interesting. Continued tension with China hasn't been good for solar. On the plus side, the US seems committed to increasing its solar investment, and the global investment is booming. All right. Solar energy stocks have had a rough 2 weeks stretch on the market with companies like Jinko Solar losing nearly 1/3 of its value, Canadian Solar dropping over 20%, and Maxian Solar Technologies, SunPower, and Enphase Energy have all fallen around 10%. What's causing the drop, and is the recovery near with the global economy coming out of the pandemic? The answer is complicated. Costs are under pressure. One of the factors that hurt solar stocks over the last few weeks was news that higher costs are hurting manufacturing profits. Polysilicon prices are high as the global supply for polysilicon remains tight. Transportation costs were also pointed to a headwind as a headwind by Canadian Solar in its recent energy report. One trend that can be seen in Canadian Solar's gross margins and net income trends below. The trends can be seen, You can see that gross margin is falling steadily over time, and that's now bringing the company close to a net loss. Wow. Higher costs for polysilicon and transportation are largely out of the control of any solar company. So it could be a while before costs come down, and there's little ability for anyone in manufacturing to raise prices. Why is that? Higher interest rates are coming someday. Solar projects are highly dependent on low interest rates for financing, so it should be no surprise that as investor fears about rising rates grow, solar stocks will fall. Debt financing. This week we found out that the Federal Reserve is prepared to taper or reduce the purchase of financial assets later this year. That could push interest rates higher and make solar projects less financially viable. This often happens in the solar industry. Falling rates push stocks higher, while rising rates push stocks lower. Over the last few weeks, these stocks have just been on the wrong side of interest rates. There you go. Photovoltaic solar field. The China fear. It can't be overlooked that fear of tariffs or other trade restrictions on goods coming from China has impacted stocks as well. The Biden administration has banned solar materials from Xinjiang, China, and has seen pressure to add tariffs on more solar imports. We can't overlook recent moves by the Chinese government to restrict everything from tech companies to education operators, which it deems important to the national interest. Solar companies within China have always operated with the backing of government banks and local territories, but there is a risk that support reverses in terms of China's support of solar manufacturing and installation changes. Investors are rightfully fearful of investing in China right now, and Jinko Solar, Canadian Solar, and Maxian have a lot riding on their Chinese operations. There is still positive news for solar companies. There are a number of tailwinds behind the solar industry that could overcome some of the challenges outlined above. One is that there's a more solar-friendly administration. The White House right now recently proposing $300 billion in tax cuts for clean energy, including solar. And President Biden wants to invest in new jobs in the US as well as innovation to cut costs further. Tax incentives are helping drive billions of dollars of investment in solar and adjacent technology like energy storage. According to IB Center, $80 billion will be invested in solar energy globally in 2021. Globally, investment in solar developers is growing in China, India, Japan, and even the Middle East. In most cases, solar is winning because it's the lowest cost energy option, beating coal, nuclear, and natural gas. As long as those trends continue, the industry will continue to grow But as we've seen in the last few weeks, it will be an up and down ride in the meantime. All right, we're not going to give any stock recommendations here. Solar development. All right, there you have it, guys. Solar as a green energy. Interesting article. Yeah, not much to say, but solar definitely has some tailwinds and headwinds to consider. So thanks for joining me, and come join me again soon for another Come Learn With Me session. Greg Silverman, out for now.